Welcome back to the channel. I'm Roger from RogerRC, and today we're back with another practice session with my Arrma Talion EXB as I prepare for the RC 045 Club Championship here in the Netherlands. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll already know that this championship journey has been, let's call it character building. Between broken parts, endless repairs, and experimenting with different tires, my Talion has been doing everything except making my life easy. So today, I'm going back to the original tires. Sometimes the best upgrade is simply admitting that your brilliant idea wasn't actually that brilliant. The biggest change, though, is that I've turned the power down to 75% on the transmitter. That might sound a little strange, but trust me, this track is no smooth race circuit. Our club track is basically a basher track pretending to be a racetrack. It's full of holes, loose rocks, big rocks, small rocks, basically every rock except the one you actually want to drive on. When it's dry, the surface is as hard as concrete and covered with loose sand and dust, making it incredibly slippery. And when it rains, well, congratulations, you're now racing in what looks like the world's largest mud puddle. At that point, it's less of a race and more of an off-road survival challenge. So nobody really knows what conditions we'll get on championship day. Dry, dusty, muddy, or all three within 5 minutes. Welcome to Dutch weather. But that's all part of the fun. I'm keeping a positive attitude, sticking with the original tires until my new Truggy tires arrive, hopefully sometime this week, and, most importantly, enjoying every lap along the way. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about winning a championship, it's about having a great time driving RC cars with friends. Now let's hit the track and see if today's practice finally goes a little smoother, or if the Talion has another surprise waiting for me. Knowing this car, I'm not making any promises. And of course, practicing to really get to know your RC car is incredibly important. But you know what's even more important? Having fun. As soon as more club members arrive and everyone starts driving together, that's when the real fun begins. There's nothing better than bashing around the track with a group of friends. Is this official race practice? Absolutely not. But you know what? It still teaches you a lot. You learn how your car reacts around other drivers, how stable it is, how much speed you can carry into the corners, and how confident you feel behind the wheel. There's also one very important lesson I've learned. Always keep your eyes on your own car, because the moment you start watching someone else's awesome jump or spectacular crash, your own Talion is usually already heading straight for a rock, a barrier, or another dimension. Seriously, it's amazing how quickly your brain says, wow, look at that car, while your own car quietly drives itself off the track. So yes, driving together is a lot of fun. It's great practice, and it definitely helps you become a better driver, as long as you remember which RC car is actually yours. After everything this Talion and I have been through, I finally feel like we're heading in the right direction. For the first time in a long while, the Talion doesn't just feel fast, it feels like a serious championship contender. Going back to the original tires has made a huge difference. The car feels much more predictable, more stable, and most importantly, I finally have confidence behind the wheel again. Instead of fighting the car every lap, we're actually working together. And the best part? I don't think we've even reached our full potential yet. My new Truggy tires should arrive soon, and I'm really excited to see how much they improve the handling. If they perform the way I'm hoping, the Talion could become even more consistent on our challenging club track. You'll also see the latest Vitavon upgrades at the end of this video. Besides making the car stronger, they give me a lot more confidence that the Talion can survive the punishment this track likes to dish out. Let's just say the Rocks might have to find someone else to bully now. So, after all the broken parts, the experiments, the repairs, and plenty of lessons learned, I honestly feel like we're finally ready. Will I become the club champion? Probably not. Will I embarrass myself by crashing into the first corner? Hopefully not. But one thing I do know is that I'm going to give it everything I've got, enjoy every single lap, and make the most of the experience. That's what this hobby is all about. Learning, improving, laughing at your mistakes, and sharing an amazing day with great friends. The RC045 Club Championship is getting closer, and for the first time, I can't wait to line up on the starting grid. Let's do this!
Whoa.
Now that almost all of my batteries are empty, I think it's safe to say this has been a very successful practice day. One thing that continues to amaze me is just how beautifully the Talion flies through the air. Every jump feels so controlled, so balanced, and so incredibly stable. You almost forget how big the jumps are because the Talion just makes them look easy. Now, don't get me wrong, I own some amazing RC cars, and every one of them has its own personality and strengths. But when it comes to stability in the air, the Talion is in a league of its own. It doesn't feel nervous, it doesn't feel unpredictable, and it doesn't constantly demand corrections. It just stays composed, giving you the confidence to hit the next jump a little faster than the last one. That's exactly what you want when you're preparing for a race, a car that inspires confidence, instead of making you wonder what it's going to do next. The steering feels precise, the suspension soaks up the rough track surprisingly well, and even on this bumpy, rocky surface, the Talion keeps asking for more. I can honestly feel that the hours of practice are paying off. Every battery pack teaches me something new, and with every lap, both the car and the driver seem to understand each other a little better. And the exciting part is, I still think the best is yet to come. With the new Truggy tires on the way and the fresh Vitavon upgrades installed, I have a feeling this Talion is only going to get better. So yes, after all the setbacks, the repairs, and the trial and error, I can finally say it with confidence. This is the Talion I was hoping for, and I have a feeling the club championship is going to be one incredible adventure. My Vitavon upgrades had finally arrived. First up is a chassis skin to protect the underside of the Talion. After all the punishment from rocks, jumps, and rough landings, the chassis has definitely earned a little extra protection. I also picked up a set of aluminum front steering hubs and aluminum rear hubs to make the suspension even stronger and more durable. But the upgrade I'm most excited about is this, a complete set of 4 heavy-duty 5mm CVD drive shafts, combined with 10mm wheel extenders on all 4 corners. These drive shafts are significantly stronger than the stock ones and should handle the abuse of big jumps and hard landings much better. The wider stance from the wheel extenders should also add a little more stability through the corners and over rough terrain. And finally, probably the most important upgrade of all for race day, the transponder. This little device will be keeping track of all my lap times during the RC045 Club Championship. Now, don't expect a fancy professional installation. I kept it nice and simple because it's only for one race day. As long as it stays in place and does its job, I'm happy. Thank you all for watching the channel, and I'll see you in the next RC adventure.